what do you think is going to happen in 2026 and a little bit in 2027? So, thinking about the set announcements from Magic the Gathering, the 2026 is covered. Maybe there might be one or two surprise sets in that 2026, but we know the roadmap for it. And it's not very common for that to happen, but maybe it's going to be common in the future. Maybe next year they're going to let us know what's happening in 2027. So, what sets do you think will come in 2027? What do you think the outcome of what happens in 2026? Where do you think they're going from that point? And for everything else, we're in 2025 and we're wondering what to expect in 2026. So Pokemon, where's Pokemon going? How is the new block of Mega Evolutions going to do in comparison to Scarlet Violet? Scarlet Violet started off really poorly and then turned around after the mask set. What the hell was that? Twilight Masquerade. After that point, things started to pick up for Pokemon, and we're in an exuberant phase of Pokemon. And how far into 2026 will that last? And what kind of sets will there be? And what will it do in comparison to Scarlet Violet and maybe even Sword and Shield and the other eras of Pokemon? And then Yu-Gi-Oh! What's happening with Yu-Gi-Oh? Are there new interesting sets? Tell me about Yu-Gi-Oh! I know nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh! If you're interested in Yu-Gi-Oh! Let me know why I should be interested in Yu-Gi-Oh! Below. HeroClix. Will HeroClix finally manage to pull itself out of its slump in 2026? WizKids has brought back an official play network so that they can have official tournaments and official prizes and that kind of stuff. And will this help grow the hobby again so that people will be playing HeroClix at a level they used to in 2016? Or will we continue the HeroClix slump, and will I still have lots of HeroClix on my shelves with almost nobody coming in to buy it? Who knows? What about board games? Are there going to be awesome, cool board games? Is Kickstarter and other crowdfunding going to be pulled out of the slump they're in? And are there other game companies that crowdfund that are going to fail? Or are we past that point now and people have figured out the logistics and the issues with tariffs and that kind of stuff? Or are we in for more pain? And is crowdfunding going to go away and move back to the original retail model with distribution and that kind of stuff being king? Because right now I think most people focus on the crowdfunding, but will people start to look at the traditional model and what's coming out for retail as opposed to crowdfunding in 2026? I don't know. What about other miniature games? Are there miniature games that I should be looking at? Will BattleTech start to become popular? Will other miniature games increase in popularity or decrease in popularity? What about all these other collectible card games? We have Riftbound coming out. I just found out some allocations, and I should probably do a video on that. I'll probably do on a video on that next. And will these other collectible card games thrive, or are we going to be left with, again, just Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Like in the 90s during that card boom, and then everything failed except for those three games? And then there was a brief, like from the 2010s upwards, there was Force of Will, and then that's when Weiss Schwartz and Buddy fight and those things. And the only one that seems to have survived is Weiss Schwartz, and Force of Will is kind of hanging on. And anything, there was a bunch of other things that probably came out in that area that no one ever heard of, and it's all gone now. Keyforge came out near the end of that, and it's still kind of going. Will it survive? And then of all the new card games, maybe now, you got Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Flesh and Blood seems to have stayed the course and managed to survive into the next cycle. So maybe it'll be a fourth card game that continues on for more than what usually happens where card games survive 5 years and then die, right? It seems like Flesh and Blood isn't going to do that. Is Lorcana going to survive past 5 years? Is, Riftbound, it hasn't come out yet, but will it survive past the 5 years, or will it also be a flash in the pan? What about Sorcery, my beloved Sorcery? It'll have 5 sets in 5 years, maybe. And will those 5 sets survive, and will there be a 6th, 7th, 8th set? Will they go to 2 sets a year like I think they should? I'm just wondering what's going to happen with all this stuff in 2026. And then, of course, with Magic in 2027, since we know a lot about what's happening with Magic in 2026 and what specifically is happening with Magic in 2026, how will that extrapolate into 2027? And also, I've been mentioning in each of my videos, starting with the Star Trek announcement video, I mentioned that I thought that they were finally going to converge Universes Beyond storylines with Magic the Gathering universe storylines, and have this the reality fracture will be a part of that, and maybe Star Trek will be part of fixing the reality fracture. And it seems like other people have picked up on that idea. I'm pretty sure I'm the first person to put a video out on that idea, but I can accept that, you know, other people thought of this when they saw the lineup as well, and that it wasn't just that, you know, I came up with the idea and everyone else copied me. It's unlikely. They probably came up with the idea independently, because it's fairly obvious, but, you know, it also may not happen, but it's just that that's an obvious take to have. So is that going to happen in 2026? And then in 2027, how will the sets play out based on what outcome you think will happen with Reality Fracture and Star Trek and that kind of stuff? Anyway, let me know what you think 2026 and 2027 will look like. I'm interested in seeing what people's predictions are in the comments below. Have a good day.